Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome back to Liberation. When we last left off, we were doing Natsuki's route, but I needed to point out, dear viewer, there's something that I needed to correct from previously. In the last session, we got to the end of Sayori's route, but apparently we missed some stuff because we did not fully commit to Sayori, which included, like, walking with her at the start. So apparently there's going to be a new scene at the end of all this, and I confirmed to make sure that we would get it. And, whoopsies, hold on a second. I also answered this quiz correctly, just to be safe. Here, hold on. With materials in hand, I approach the desk where Sayori is already waiting with hers.
Alright, let's see.
Sayori begins to go down her checklist to ensure everything on it is present and accounted for.
Oh, good job, Hallie. Looks like you got everything we needed.
I'm pretty good at counting.
That's why I know I can always count on you.
Did she just make a pun, intentionally? Wow, Sayori, I didn't know you had it in you. Sayori blushes and grins.
I guess you're just rubbing off on me.
We gather up the remaining supplies and put them in our backpacks. Yeah, okay. Alright. And it should... Oh wait, no, we just need to pick this too. Can't go picking that other option. No, sir. But yeah, I wanted to clean this up real quick. But it also occurred to me that we might be missing something on Natsuki since I didn't kind of fully commit to her either exactly. So I went back and redid her route just to make sure. Just to make sure we get it right. So whenever we pick up with that, my choices will have been different, but hopefully we'll get whatever full ending she would have for Act 1. Anyway, I can't wait to see what we can make with the posters.
Yeah, it's gonna be lots of fun.
And you know, we don't only have to hang out when we're working on school projects, you know. We can hang out anytime, anywhere. It's always fun when we hang out. I notice Sayori slow down to a crawl and eventually stop. Sayori, is everything alright? She continues to look away, but I can see her eyes start to glisten.
Hallie, thank you.
For what?
For being able to put up with someone like me.
What? What do you mean? There's nothing to put up with.
It's okay. I know sometimes I tend to push people away. I never really like asking for help.
Ah, well, that's alright. It's never any trouble. Sayori shakes her head.
No, I mean, it's not alright that I keep making you do things you don't want to do. Like making you join this club, or buying me food, or helping with the festival prep. I always feel so guilty asking for something or for help, that I sometimes wonder how people can put up with me when I do.
Instinctively, I wrap my arms around her and pull her into an embrace. This seems to catch her off guard, but she doesn't struggle against it. Instead, she pushes her face deeper into my chest and I can hear her start to softly cry. I place one hand on the back of her head to comfort her. Sayori, you are not now, nor will you ever be a burden to me. You say that you should be able to do stuff for yourself, but has it ever occurred to you that some people want to do those things for you? We don't do it out of obligation or pity, we do it because we want to. I want to. Sayori looks up at me sniffling with tear-stained eyes.
But why? Why would you want to help someone like me?
Someone like you? Sayori, it's you. I want to help you, and as I said before, I do it because I care about you. A lot. I feel my cheeks burn a little, but I realize now isn't the time to really hold back either. I truly do like Sayori and want to be there for her, and she needs to know that she's not a burden on anyone, least of all me. You're the first person I think about when I wake up, and the last person I think about when I fall asleep. You're the reason I get up in the mornings. You're the reason I want to come to the club meetings. Hell, you're the reason this club even stays together.
What do you mean? The club would be fine without me.
Are you kidding? Sayori, Monica can't run this whole club by herself. And even if she could, I don't think the club would last very long. You're the glue that holds the group together. You're our group's moral fiber, the club moderator, our conscience.
I am.
Absolutely. Everyone in that club knows it, too. We all care about you a great deal. Sayori wipes her tears and looks at me with a smile.
Thanks, Hallie. Seems like I'm always thanking you for something.
No need to thank me. It's my pleasure, Sayori. With that, we continue our walk home, though with Sayori still noticeably more silent than usual. As we walk up to the point where we need to split off to our respective houses, I notice Sayori hanging back a little once again. What's wrong, Sayori?
Hallie, do you ever get a bad feeling in the pit of your stomach, like you know something is wrong, or something bad is going to happen?
I try to hide the panic in my voice. What exactly does she mean?
It started ever since I got up this morning, and I haven't been able to shake it all day.
Maybe it's just something you ate? Idiot, now is not the time.
No, it's not that. I don't know. For some reason, I'm just feeling really scared. Maybe to do with my dream last night.
Dream?
Yeah. Well, I guess it was a nightmare. I dreamt that we were all getting ready for the festival, and you were there, but your face was all blurry. I was feeling really sad. Monica came over to my desk and said something to me. I don't remember what she said, but I remember it made a lot of sense. I left, and then the weekend of the festival came. I saw you outside with someone else.
Oh wait, well that wouldn't be in the history yet. But that definitely said something before someone else, didn't it? I'm not crazy. Yeah, no, it's... As Sayori stands there describing the horrifying details of the weekend she experienced in her previous iteration, I begin to feel my heart pounding out of my chest. Sweat rolls down my forehead and all the blood drains from my face. She's remembering, and I'm paralyzed with fear, unable to make a sound, unable to make any movement. All I can do is stand there.
I talked for a bit, and then I remember running into my garage to find something. I went to my room and
It's at this moment that everything starts flooding back to Sayori. Her eyes widen in horror as she collapses to the ground, holding her head and screaming.
Ah!
Her scream breaks me out of my paralyzed fear, and I run to her and put my arms around her.
What is this? What's going on? Holly, I don't understand.
Sayori, I can explain!
Monica!
Sayori jumps up from the pavement and stumbles back a bit. I reach out to Sayori. Sayori, wait! Please, let's talk about this! She reflexively recoils from my touch.
I don't know who you are!
Sayori turns around and runs towards her house. I start to go after her, but as soon as she's in the door, she slams it shut and locks it. I stand outside the door and pound on it a few times. Sayori! Sayori, please! You shouldn't be alone right now! Nothing. No sound. Just silence from behind the door. My mind is racing as I find myself feeling dizzy. I lurch forward and empty the contents of my stomach onto the grass. It is the only thing I can think of, the only person I can turn to, and probably the very last person Sayori wants to see right now. I pull out my phone and call Monica. After a couple of rings, she picks up.
Hello, Hallie. What's up?
Monica, it's bad. It's Sayori.
Oh no, what happened? Is she alright?
Monica, she's awake. I don't know how. I don't know why. Monica stays silent as she tries to collect her thoughts. She probably prepared for this call to happen, but I'm guessing she's still a little surprised as her voice sounds a little shaky.
Alright. Where is she now? Or right now?
She ran off into her house and locked the door. Monica, I don't think she should be alone right now, but I can't just break down the door.
I'm coming over. I may not be who she wants to see right now, but I don't want you to have to deal with this on your own either.
Thanks, Monica. I'm sorry for making you drop everything.
There's nothing to apologize for. I'm on my way. See you in 10.
She hangs up the phone. Meanwhile, I try knocking on the door again and asking Sayori to open the door to let me try and explain everything. Still silence. I crumple to the ground in front of her door with my back leaning against it. All I can do is wait for Monica, I suppose, and hope that Mr. X doesn't find out about this. Well, that's a much more dramatic ending to the X1 than we previously got. It just jumped to this before, so... Well, gosh. I'm glad we bothered to go back for that. It was actually pretty substantial. Whenever you're ready, game. And back to 1. Thanks for playing. You're welcome. No, we're not gonna bother with that. Okay, so now, as we were, back to Natsuki. I do believe I brought us up to the poem. If I click skip, it's gonna, like, skip the page. I don't want to do that. Not that we need to read the page again, I just don't want to, you know. It's whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Muffin is something... Just let me show you my poem. What do you think of that one? Natsuki stays silent for a moment, scanning over the page a couple of times. She lowers the poem, but never raises her eyes, continuing to look down at the ground.
Is any of that true?
Looking up at me with tears in the corners of her eyes, she balls her fists.
Because I swear to God, if you're lying to me, or just making this up to try and make me feel better, or to tell me, oh, I know what you're going through.
Whoa, Natsuki. Natsuki realizes she was starting to let her emotions run away from her and immediately stops. First of all, I will never, ever tell you that I know what you're going through. I hate it when people say that. Everyone's pain is different. I know most of the time they mean well, but sometimes I'd just rather they didn't. So I would never do that to you. Second, what I can tell you is that growing up, my dad and I weren't exactly on the best of terms. He was a very angry man. He never really learned how to control his emotions. And yet, despite all that, despite how much he hurt me, physically and emotionally, it's at this point I can hear my own voice starting to crack a little, but I press on because I don't know how to stop it. I still love him, even though I know I should hate that son of a bitch. And every day I still feel that anger inside me, and it scares me. I start to feel tears running down my cheeks, but before I can wipe them away, Natsuki hands me a tissue. I hadn't realized it, but I can see tears streaming down her face as well.
Yeah, it sucks. It's like, you know, if it were anyone else, you'd hate their guts, but because they're your dad, you almost feel obligated to love them.
I nod solemnly. I mean, they weren't all bad times, you know? There were a lot of good ones, too.
But the good ones don't leave a mark quite like the bad ones do.
Exactly. Natsuki looks around the room as if she's trying to see if anyone else is looking. Once she confirms the coast is clear, she leans in and gives me a hug. I'm kind of shocked. I wasn't really expecting her to be so openly affectionate, and least of all in the same vicinity as others. I wrap my arms around her and hug her back, though she quickly untangles herself after a couple of moments. Thanks, Natsuki.
Sure, don't mention it. Seriously, don't.
No worries.
Anyway, would you like to read mine now?
Yeah, I would. She hands me her poem. Grab the bar.
Your eyes only. I hate the way you make me scribble silly things, or the way you make me feel when we don't read together. I hate the way it feels when you're not around, but I don't hate you. I wasn't happy when you first joined us. I wasn't happy when you saw me fall asleep. I wasn't happy when I had to read my poems in front of you, but I am happy with you. I like getting to read manga with you. I like that you think you're so funny. I like that you want to spend time with me even when I'm pushy, and I like your smile. I love the poems you write me. I love the way you don't expect me to be anything but me. I love the way you make me feel inspired. And most of all, I love... Then I'm done with this poem.
Wait, this poem, is she confessing to me? I'm not really used to this, so I can't seem to find any other words. Meanwhile, Natsuki shifts uncomfortably.
So, you hated it, huh?
No, just the opposite, in fact.
You don't have to lie to me.
Natsuki goes to grab the poem from my hand, but I yank it away in time, leaving her to grab nothing but air. She looks a tad confused and upset at me. No, listen, seriously, I really liked it. I was just surprised is all.
Are you just saying that to make me feel better?
Natsuki, I know we haven't known each other for very long, but I think at this point, you and I have become close enough that we don't mince words with each other. I'm not lying, I seriously love it. I just needed a moment to collect my thoughts is all.
Well, I was trying not to make it sound too mushy, but...
I don't mind mushy, honestly.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, for real. In fact, I suddenly find myself feeling bashful. Why am I acting all dumb and goofy? I can't help but wonder if it's a little of the original MC's influence on me. I'd like to keep it if that's alright with you.
You wanna keep it? I mean, I guess. I plan on letting you have it anyway, so I guess this saves me the trouble of asking. But if you let anyone else read that, I swear you won't hear the end of it.
My lips are sealed. As she and I start to head back to our desks, I turn to her. Is it just me or is this song, like, way louder than the rest of the soundtrack? Like, the audio in this mod I've noticed has kind of just been a little bit louder, but not so much that I ever had to, like, turn it down before. This song in particular is like, whoa. Anyway, Natsuki?
Yeah?
I love... Natsuki's eyes widen and I can see her breath catch in her chest, like a deer caught in the headlights. That we're done with these poems, too. I let out a small chuckle as she suddenly gets red in the face.
You!
Baka?
Shut it!
Ah, I got her. Alright, let's move right along. Go.
This is...
Monica hesitates for a moment.
Allie, I had no idea.
Well, I wanted Natsuki to know that in a small sense I knew what it was like to grow up in an abusive home. But more to the point, that anger has always sort of been with me.
I see. I'm sorry, I don't really know what to say.
It's alright. I mean, I can't or won't ever be able to fully identify with what she's going through, of course. Everyone's situation is different, but I'm hoping that perhaps this might help her to trust me a little more by sharing something like this with her.
That's probably true. Has she read this yet?
Yeah, I showed it to her already.
Oh, how did she react?
She was kind of speechless at first, but I think it got through to her. I honestly half expected her to leave the room, but to my surprise she actually opened up and thanked me.
Wow, that's a big step for her.
I didn't mention the hug though, but I kind of wanted to keep that between Natsuki and I. Yeah, I thought so too. Anyway, thanks for listening, Monica.
Anytime, Hallie. Would you like to read mine now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do believe this is the same. Yeah, we don't need to worry about that. Same as before. Same across routes. Makes sense.
Do you like Natsuki? Like more than a friend?
What? Why do you ask that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out of line. If you know, just forget I asked.
No, Yuri, it's fine, really. It just kind of caught me off guard so suddenly is all. I mean, I'm not really sure about my feelings just yet, but why do you ask?
Well, it's just that the poems you've been writing, they've all been more Natsuki's style.
Oh, well, yeah, I suppose that's true.
So don't get me wrong, I'm very happy for you two. After all, I want Natsuki to be happy.
Yuri lowers her head. Normally I'd feel bad assuming maybe Yuri felt left out, or perhaps even a little jealous. But the way she said that last part, it was as though she genuinely meant it, but felt bad that she even had to say it. You care a lot about Natsuki, don't you? Yuri just nods. Maybe I misread this entire situation. Is she... Oh, Yuri, if you like her, I won't get in the way. Yuri's face twists into a shocked look as she jolts upright.
Oh, no. Please don't misunderstand, Hallie. I don't have feelings for Natsuki in that way.
I'm an idiot. I suddenly realized how poorly I read the situation. Why would I think that? I chastise myself, hoping I haven't made things awkward between us. Blame the fandom, my dude.
It's just that... never mind. Please forget I said anything. If you don't mind, I'm not really feeling up to sharing right now. Would you be terribly upset if we skipped it? I think I need some time to clear my head and go to the restroom.
Yeah, sure. That's no problem, Yuri.
Thanks again, Hallie.
With that, Yuri takes another glance around the room to make sure nobody's watching and slowly gets up and leaves. Oops. Go. And so, then we need to pick Natsuki. My player 2, Natsuki, I choose you. How dorky. I wouldn't mind spending some more time with Natsuki. I guess I could help out Natsuki. Natsuki rolls her eyes.
Well, don't sound so enthusiastic about it.
I mean, if you don't want my help,
No, I didn't mean like... It's not like I couldn't use the help.
This is the part where you say thank you. Flustered, Natsuki crosses her arms in a huff. Despite not showing her gratitude, I could tell she was happy for the help. Something about the way the corner of her mouth is curling upwards while she stares downward.
With that out of the way.
There they go. Before long, everyone else is doing the same. I walk over to where Natsuki is to coordinate with her for the weekend. Ah, sorry, Sayori, this should only take a few minutes.
Oh, no worries. I have to drop off some stuff at my locker and pick up some materials for the pamphlets. You can make me by my locker when you're done.
Sounds good. Hey, Natsuki.
Hey, what's up?
Well, we'll need to exchange numbers if we're going to meet up this weekend.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Alright, give me your phone.
I pull out my phone and hand it to her. She snatches it out of my hand quickly and types in a few numbers and hands it back. Thanks. I'll text you later and we can work out a time and place.
Oh, about that. We should do the baking at my place.
Yeah, that's fine. Wait, did she suggest her place? I honestly wasn't expecting that. Not that I mind, given that Mr. X is back at my place and I'd rather not risk a confrontation between them. But I figured given Natsuki's home life, she probably couldn't, or at least wouldn't, want to have visitors. I know her dad isn't in the picture anymore, so maybe that's why she's a little more comfortable with it.
Hello? You kind of zoned out there for a minute. Is that alright with you?
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess I figured you'd want to do it at my place.
Oh, really? Why's that?
I feel like a trapped animal. I'm not sure if there's a way to answer that without incensing her in some way. No particular reason, just that I figured you probably wanted a change of scenery or something from the usual.
Uh-huh. Were you hoping for some sort of romantic weekend spending alone with me in an empty house? Because that's not happening.
No, that's not it at all. Natsuki's serious expression begins to crack and she doubles over in laughter.
You should have seen the look on your face. No, that's not it at all.
She uses a deep, overly dramatic tone of voice to mock me. Haha, you're killing me, Natsuki. You really are. Natsuki finally eases up and wipes a tear from her eyes.